if we would have been a little bit sharper and a little bit more ruthless with some of the things that we decided to do, it could have been a 3-point day for us.
You have to put together a team in a week, and you have to go, and you have to get a result. But at the same time, that's the same thing for RKC, right? How did you plan out this week, and is there anything you'd change?
I think that we're both in very similar boats of people coming in at different points in time. Like we had 4 people that started today that had only been in one training session, and that was our pregame training on Thursday. And I'm sure they had the same boat. So a lot of it is just kind of us working on getting on the same page. And I think that today you got to see some good moments, some bad moments, somewhere I wish we could have ironed out some wrinkles and details to be a little bit more on the same page. But all in all, I mean, a fine opening game. I'm sure that they wish they had more time. I'm sure I wish I had more time with the guys, but all things considered, we're all on the same footing and the same operating timeline of space and people. So yeah.
When you're down at halftime, you're up a man, you're up a man. You make some changes. What was the halftime talk, and what were the thoughts on the adjustments?
Yeah, so I mean, we kind of came in at halftime and we said like, all right, look, this game is going to be entirely different. So the first half is borderline irrelevant now because we're up a man. We got to see a slight little bit of how they were going to look to defend us with that happening. So we made some very attacking minded subs, getting some more pace, size, athleticism up top, and some kind of pure 1v1 dribblers out wide. And we just kind of talked about finding 2v1s around the edges or 1v1s, delivering balls, and then when we could, put balls behind the back line. And like case in point, I'm sure Jonah Garcia doesn't play the most effective ball, but Preston Knipsu has phenomenal work rates. He gets on the back end of it, touch around the keeper, earns a pen. Jackson steps up and does a great job. And then another case in point, we have a great little attacking sequence. We run a corner kick, and then Preston gets up and heads it in. And then right there, when we were up, or it was 2-2, in like the 50th minute, I was like, all right, like we're in a very good spot. And I think that after that happened, we kind of settled into a little bit of like complacency. And then they got a little bit more of their footing back into the game. And then we went up 3-2 again off of another little penalty where we got the ball behind the back line, touched around the keeper, got a pen. Jackson stepped up and did it very well. So we did do a good job of isolating 2v1s and putting balls behind the back line when we were up a man to kind of create those opportunities. But we kind of found like this awkward in between where sometimes we were too direct, and I wish we would have been more patient. Or the moments where we could have gone direct, we didn't. So again, that's just getting 11 players on the field, trying to operate on the same page. And again, I wish we would have executed a little bit better. It would have been a little bit more clinical in some of the moments. But all in all, I'm very proud of the resiliency of the group from going down 2-0 to pull it back and take the lead. I just wish we could have executed a little bit better than our defensive thirds.
Who impressed you tonight?
Oh, I think the 3 Drake boys were phenomenal. Preston Knipsu, his work rate, his desire to get on the end of balls, hold up the ball, use his body was fantastic. Jackson Kirsch was very good at cleaning on the ball, took 2 big pens, finished them both. That was good. And then I thought Cole Shiragi, as our left center back, was the strongest player in our back 3 today. So those are 3 of the players who only had 1 training session with us, and they stepped in and showed why they deserve to be playing at the USL 2 level and being, 75 to 90 minute guys at that. So I was very, very proud of those 3 in particular.
Short week game on Thursday. What do you take from this game, and what do you try to add in just a couple training sessions before you're back at it?
Definitely going to be working on some more defensive principles and defending in our own third a little bit more to focus on just some horizontal compactness as well as some vertical compactness, so that way we don't give up some of the chances that we did, because granted, 2 of the 3 were just very clear-cut chances from them. So we got to be a little bit better defending in around our own 18, taking pride in bumping, tracking runners, and again, just making that ball go wide. We cannot get beat centrally. We cannot get split centrally. Just some simple things like that. But then again, we have people coming together, playing a new shape for the first time. Sometimes there's just a little bit of not having the same amount of comfortability / knowing what everybody's defensive role and responsibility is. And that's something that I'll take responsibility for. I wish we could have been a little bit more on the same page in the thirds, but in the scheme of things, we got to have 5 sessions and not all of those with everybody. So we kind of had to focus on some big principles, which was how does it look when we're in possession? How's our building? How's our pressing? So we still got to iron out some more of these different phases over these next 2 or 3 sessions before the next one. But I'm very excited about the group. I'm very optimistic. And then even today, we were, missing a handful of people who I know could help and contribute. And I just think we have a very deep squad. And, we just went toe-to-toe with RKC, who I think is going to be one of the best teams in our conference. And so I'm very, very excited to see what it looks like going forward.
Follow up on that, I think most people would peg RKC as a preseason favorite to win the division.
Is a point at home good enough?
It's bummed because, I feel like we dropped 2 points. I'm sure they feel hard done with a pen or 2 pens and a red card. Granted, I think all of the decisions were technically correct, and I think debatably the player could have even been sent off even sooner. So I do think some big decisions did go our way, but I think they were also the correct decisions. So just thing that hurts the most is we were up 3-2 up a man, and we just kind of didn't grind it out as effectively as we need to. So it just kind of feels like 2 points dropped. And again, they're a very good team. They punished us, and they punished us down a man twice. So they will cause teams in our conference a lot of problems. They're very well coached, very well organized. They're very strong on ball identity. So again, a very good team that I have a ton of respect for. But I do think that, when the circumstances played how it did, if we would have been a little bit sharper and a little bit more ruthless with some of the things that we decided to do, it could have been a 3-point day for us.
Thanks.
Thank you.